Well, the Russia story has completely and utterly warped the Democratic Party in the last 2 years. It's driven them, many of them anyway, to become pro-war, pro-censorship, pro-China, pro-CIA, and a bunch of other things that would have horrified them just 10 years ago. Stephen Cohen knows a lot about this. He's been at the heart of Russia studies and politics for a long time. Obviously, a very famous Russian studies professor at Princeton and NYU and a contributing editor to The Nation magazine. He joins us tonight. Professor, thanks very much for coming on. So you've been around American politics and Russian diplomacy for decades. How has this story, the Russia collusion story, changed the Democratic Party, would you say?
Yeah, some people think I've been around too long, and I'm working on that. Look, as a historian, I know that parties have parties within them. They're divided. And I saw that when I was growing up in the segregated South. My father was a Franklin Delano Roosevelt Democrat for social justice, yet the Democratic Party was a segregationist party in the South.
Right.
We see something like that going on today, I fear. That is to say that the party and its candidates for the presidency are preaching social justice and economic justice and traditional liberal values, but they're pushing this Russiagate story against Trump in a way that I think is making the Democratic Party the party of Cold War with Russia, which easily could be hot war, the party of neo-McCarthyism, and a party that doesn't care the way it used to about civil liberties. You made the point at the top of your broadcast, I think, about Paul Manafort. It seems to be a party that wants a death sentence for artful tax returns. That would put an awful lot of people in prison.
And Russia seems to be the unifying force behind all of these changes. I mean, you're seeing censorship online that liberals of my childhood would have rebelled against, fought against, filed lawsuits against, that they now support because it's done in the name of eliminating Russian disinformation.
Yeah, I have a different way of formulating it. In the 20th century, we had three major episodes of détente with Russia, or what President Trump has called cooperation. They were all done by, I don't know if you have thought of this, by Republican presidents. Eisenhower, Nixon, and Reagan, correct?
Yes.
In that sense, Trump, in calling for cooperation or détente with Russia, is squarely in the Republican tradition. I don't know if Trump knows that himself, but he is. And yet when he does what every Republican president did in the 20th century, try to cooperate with Moscow, it's called treason. And I'm not making this up. You remember in July last year, he went to Helsinki for a summit with Putin, the Russian leader.
Yeah.
Something that every American president since Eisenhower had done, had a summit with the Kremlin leader. And what did they say when he came home? Trump came home. Treason. So, driven by the Democrats. So, I mean, to my mind, though I've been a kind of Democrat most of my life, the Democrats are becoming the party of anti-national security.
It must be so bewildering. It's bewildering for me, and I know only a fraction of what you know.
Well, what zip code are you in? I'm not sure.
I'm in a very faraway zip code.
Do we have zip codes anymore?
I don't think we have cell service in my zip code, actually. That's how far out I am. Professor, great to see you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.